Testing. Okay. Okay. Hi guys. Welcome to my channel. On this channel, I basically document my spiritual journey. So I've been on a spiritual journey for about 3 years now, and I just recently thought that I kind of want to put myself out there and kind of document my insights as I get them, because I feel like I get some interesting ones that are nice food for thought and honestly could be helpful for some people. And I had one of those recently. Whew, it's hot out here. So I was literally at a crossroads recently. I was driving home from work and it was dark, it was nighttime, and I was just sitting at this crossroads in my car waiting for, the light to go. And I was kind of in a meditative state, as you can get in sometimes when you're driving, and I was just kind of thinking about some of the choices I made a couple of days ago. And so for context, and I feel like this will end up being relevant to people, but for me, 2 days ago, I kind of decided about like what I want, some things I want for my future, some goals. And I was thinking, well, like for me, that like there were two of them. There was YouTube, and really wanting and deciding to and committing to wanting to make money off of YouTube, not through like necessarily AdSense, but I want to offer my own services. I want to offer spiritual mentorship or those kinds of things, like intimate conversations. Like I want to help people with what I know and with what I've gained through my path already and with my talents. I want to offer that and earn money doing that primarily going forward in the future. And I also, if I was to think of, just with what I have from where I am right now, what would I like want to do with my life? And the thing that came to mind was go to Peru and kind of study towards becoming a plant medicine shaman and just kind of trying that path out and kind of getting really familiar and intimate with ayahuasca and like those plant medicines and those kinds of things. I just found that really interesting. But I was sitting at this crossroads and I just noticed and kind of for the first time kind of acknowledged how I actually wasn't feeling too great about that. Even though those two goals I had were things I genuinely do really want for myself. And you would think you would feel excited, but I noticed in that moment, and I really took the time to acknowledge it then, what I noticed was I was just kind of feeling badly towards it. I was feeling discouraged, deflated, and the image that came to mind was I just felt like I was in a dark room with all these doors, but all the doors were closed. So even though I had these goals and for what I wanted in life, and they were really like out of everything what I do want to do, yeah, I still felt like I was in a dark room with closed doors. And so I went into that feeling in that moment, and well, actually an insight came to me then, because I recognized how old me in the past would have, with these goals, even despite how I would feel discouraged, despite, how I would feel deflated towards them or kind of badly towards them, like, oh yeah, I got these goals, but kind of like, oh no. Despite me feeling kind of that way, I would still, what I felt like, do the right thing and still commit to them, still pursue them, despite how I was feeling about it, because we're told in a way, especially in the spiritual community, but basically by anyone who is encouraging to us, we're told to still do it. And we're told to, even if we don't feel that good about it, that good about our chances for success, that good about getting what we want out of these things, we're encouraged to, and we're still told to, it's the right thing to still go for it. You should still follow your dreams. You should still go for it. In the past, I definitely would have. But, I've come to a certain point in my spiritual journey, in myself, where I kind of knew, like, man, in that moment, in that car, I just realized, man, I'm not going to get anywhere thinking and feeling this way about the goals as I do right now. Like a phrase kind of came into my mindset, different variations of like, not with this mindset. I'm not going to get anywhere with YouTube, with this kind of plant medicine kind of thing, with this mindset. Because if we put my hope, and this goes for other people who relate to this, but if you put your hope and, you know, your goodwill, your honest, like, I still want to chase, like, if we put that hope to the side, our faith and our hope to the side, what we're left with is how we actually feel about these goals and dreams we've set for ourselves that we really do want. But how we actually feel about them matters. Because, you know, if you know anything about law of attraction or the law of mirroring, you know that what you believe is what you'll end up manifesting. And our whole life is evidence for that. And so I knew in that moment that what I needed to do was not just go forward kind of like with that hope, with that faith, thinking that that would put me over the line, like just that hope and faith and like doing the right thing and putting the actions towards it would actually be enough to get what I wanted from YouTube and plant medicines or whichever goal it is. And when we do that and we go for it, despite how basically we don't feel like we will ever achieve it, or we don't feel like we'll actually get what we want from it, we actually don't believe it. If we do that anyway, we do it with the hope that hopefully our actions and hopefully our hope and faith will find a way. But I feel like our whole life, is evidence to the opposite. What usually actually happens, and what has happened in my experience, is any time I, go for a goal or a dream I have, in good faith, but at the same time feeling badly towards it, not feeling like you just have this bad feeling towards it. You just don't, you feel discouraged, deflated, all these things. If you do it despite how you feel, it's, at the end of the day, you kind of just prove your feelings right. And nothing really comes out of it. It just kind of falls flat and falls short. Yeah, and the reason is because you never addressed your actual beliefs about your wants and your goals. And that's where the title of this video comes in. So I titled this video something along the lines of, you can only manifest what you see happening for yourself. And that's because that was the insight I had in this car at this crossroads. And that was, if I want to get anywhere with YouTube or with that other kind of path I've chosen, if I want to get anywhere with these things I want for myself, I have to change, my feelings are revealing the fact that I actually don't believe, for whatever reason, that I'll succeed at either of those two things. So I can still go for it anyway, but I will simply just manifest non-success, because that's what I actually believe in the first place. So in that car, I was just like, man, I need to figure out why I don't believe I will, and then actually do belief work on that. Figure out what the beliefs are. Why don't I think I'll actually be able to succeed on YouTube? Why don't I think I can do, what is my logic? What is my reasoning? And similarly for the other thing, why don't I think I'll be able to get what I want out of that? Really, why? What is my beliefs and logic around that? And then that's what you question. And you should do that for yourself too when you notice this. But you need to question that and then get to the point where it no longer feels like you're in a dark room with all the doors closed when you think about your goals. Question it to the point where it starts to feel like the doors are opening and you can actually see it happening for yourself. That is the only way it will manifest. That is when that is when you are going to be a vibrational match to what it is you want. But if you're feeling which I was in the car, and what you do when you feel poorly towards your goals. If you're feeling badly, it's because you feel like your goals, your dreams, what you want, you feel like it is unattainable. So despite what your actions and maybe what your goodwill, despite what your actions say, it's almost kind of like the reality is you actually feel that what you're going towards you'll never attain. What you're going towards is in fact unattainable. It's almost inaccessible to you. If that is genuinely how you feel about what you want and what you're going for, you need to address that, because you can keep pursuing it all you want, but you're just going to run in circles, because all you'll end up manifesting is the reality of it being inaccessible to you, is the reality of it being unattainable. And so what we really need to do is change our mindset so that we question those beliefs that tell us, yeah, we're never going to do it. But we have to actually like figure out what they are first, and then you go through this belief work, process of changing it, so that, yeah, you can get to the point of being like, oh wait, I can actually see how it could happen for myself now. Like I can actually yeah, that could definitely happen. It will no longer feel unattainable. It will feel like, yeah, no, I can totally see how that's like actually like a possibility, and if I just do these things, or like a thing, yeah, that could definitely happen. But you'll notice it's a completely different feeling from when it feels unattainable and it's like it's what you want and you're going for it, but oh no. And the feeling of like, it's what I want and I'm going for it, and yeah, I can totally see how I'm going to get there. That's what you need, because when it truly feels attainable to you, and what you want and what you're thinking, when you can actually see it happening for yourself, that is the only time it can actually manifest for you. I mean, think about it. I feel like it makes perfect sense, and that's kind of this insight I got in the car. And what I took away from that was, well, damn, I need to, go home, do some journaling, and really figure out what these beliefs are that are telling me that I'll never succeed at making money from YouTube, and that I won't get what I want from my plant medicine journey in the jungle, and question if that's true or not, with the hopes of finding a way where I can see how actually, you know what, I can get it, where I can actually almost convince myself through that belief work, through questioning my ideas, will actually convince myself, no, I can actually, I can actually see how it could happen for me. And that's when it can. And that's when it will be the opposite of, oh man, I'm not gonna get anywhere with this mindset. The opposite of that would then be, wow, okay, because I can actually see it happening for myself, why wouldn't it then manifest if I put in the work, So that was just a recent thing that came to mind, and I hope you did get something out of that little rant, and I hope you follow along with my journey. I'll be having kind of more videos like this, where as I kind of get insights along the way, I'll be sharing them. So if you're interested in that, press follow, and I'll be excited to see you in the next video. Thank you.